Before I get into my video, I just want to show you all a close-up of this incredible art piece that is in the background of all of my videos. This artwork is available on my Etsy website, which is in my bio, and it can be uniquely personalized to your own birth chart with your own planetary configuration in the center. As you can see, there is the zodiac signs in the center, and for now, for example, the new moon that I am going to be talking about is going to be in Anuradha Nakshatra, which is in Scorpio, in this Nakshatra Anuradha right here. This is the star constellation, and this is the DT right here. So yeah, just a quick close-up of this incredible art piece. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Lakna. Thank you so much for tuning in. So in this video, I want to talk about the first new moon, because there are two new moons happening in the month of December. The first new moon is happening on the 1st of December, and in Vedic astrology, this new moon is happening in Scorpio in the Nakshatra Anuradha. So having two new moons in a month is quite rare. It's usually one new moon, one full moon each month. So December is a very strong, a very powerful month, and it's interesting that that last new moon of December will be on the 30th of December, giving us the opportunity to really set our goals and intentions for the following year. So it's very powerful and very energetically charged this month of December. And we're starting it with this new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. It's also ruled by Pluto and Ketu. The Nakshatra Anuradha is ruled by Saturn. So these planets are all super intense. Mars, Pluto, Ketu, and Saturn. They're not necessarily easygoing. They're not like Venus, all about love and beauty and art. No, these planets, let's talk about them. Mars is the inner warrior, protector, defender. Mars is about taking aligned action, really. It's about dealing with the conflict and confrontations necessary in our life and standing up for ourselves, asserting ourselves when necessary. Mars is about allowing us to move ahead, our drive, our courage, our ambition. Then Pluto is the ego destroyer. Pluto wants to create change and transformation in our life. Pluto wants us to, really change, to let go of limiting patterns and habits that we've been holding on to that aren't serving us anymore. K2 is similar in that way, in that it wants us to let go of our past karmic habits and patterns that we have carried on from generation, in our ancestry, in our lineage, in our past as who we were growing up, the things that don't serve us and align with us anymore. K2 wants us to release those things that have been holding us back so we can be spiritually liberated and free. Then Saturn is all about discipline and structure and having boundaries and hard work and overcoming obstacles. These are not easy sort of themes in our life, but this is what is coming up now with this new moon, these themes for us to reflect on, and the new beginnings that we want to create in our life to do with these themes. It's very interesting because this Nakshatra Anuradha is ruled by the deity called God Mitra, the god of friendships and partnerships and cooperation with groups and one another, which is so interesting when you think about all of these sort of harder, heavier themes that I mentioned. But the thing is, when it comes to the partnerships and the friendships in our life, we do experience all of these things of needing to assert ourselves, to have boundaries, to let go of limiting ways of living and being with our friends, with our partners, with the groups and people in our life. If anything, it is the people around us and the people in our life who mirror back to us these themes within us that we need to heal and change and release and let go of, and then transform so that we can feel more free. So this new moon in Scorpio is connected to the Mercury that just recently started retrograde in Scorpio as well, in the nakshatra called Jyeshta. So Jyeshta is also in Scorpio, has these themes to do with really taking back our power and control in our life, and really not feeling like a victim to the world, but taking our power back. Taking responsibility is the theme really that I see with this new moon, as Anuradha is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is all about responsibility. And Mars also, that is the ruler of Scorpio, Mars will be going retrograde on the 6th of December, which means we'll also be really reflecting on our past with Mercury and Mars retrograding. Mars will be retrograde in Cancer, another water sign, so this watery, deep, emotional, subconscious parts of ourselves is what is being asked to confront in this time. And so with the new moon, which is all about new beginnings, before we can start this new beginning, we really do need to do some reflecting on our past, and shadow work is a really powerful thing to do around this time of the new moon, especially because it is a new moon in Scorpio. Doing the shadow work, taking time to meditate, to go within, to quieten your mind and introspect in this time, because it is when the moon is dark, so it is a dark time. It's time for us to really go to that deep, dark part of our psyche and allow whatever thoughts want to come up and really listen to ourselves. So imagine for this new moon that we are all planting new seeds, which are new intentions that we're planting, sprinkling along into the deepest, darkest layers of mud, which represent the deepest, darkest layers of our mind, of our psyche, of our subconscious, the parts of ourselves that we push away, that we suppress. We're planting seeds in those areas of our life so that we can blossom like a beautiful lotus flower and rise above all of that mud and overcome those obstacles, those hurdles, those things that we have pushed away. We can rise above that. And I say this because the lotus flower is one of the symbols of Anuradha Nakshatra, and it is really connected with that Saturnian energy of being able to rise above all of the trials and tribulations and all of the hardships of that muddiness that we have to experience. And, you know, with resilience and perseverance, that flower grows and thrives and rises above all of that. It also connects with this cycle of Scorpio that I want to talk about, just mention as well. The sort of low frequency of the zodiac sign Scorpio is the beetle, which I have mentioned this in previous videos, but for those of you who don't know or haven't heard of this phrase, the beetle is the low frequency of a scorpion or a Scorpio, which is sort of engulfed by all of the muddiness and the dirt and can't see beyond the mud. It can't escape the mud. So this could be the seed when it's first planted. You could see it as that beetle. And it's like we're consumed by the problems and the chaos in our life that we can't overcome that. Then we tap into that Martian energy of the Scorpion and we start to fight for ourselves, and we start to assert ourselves and speak up for ourselves, stand up for ourselves, and we become the defender of our life, the protector of our values and the things that we believe in, and we are a warrior for ourselves. We defend ourselves, and we're ready to defend, and we're ready to attack. But in this state of the Scorpion, we are actually in a victim mindset where the world is against us and we can't trust. And while the themes of this month is really gaining the clarity and the discernment to know and trust our intuition, to know who we can trust, we still need to have this trust in life. It's different. It's different when you're acting from a victim mindset and in a place of trust and knowing that you aren't going to have to attack or defend yourself all the time. Like, you are so divinely protected and guided and aligned in your life. You need to trust that. So when you do trust that and you overcome that, you become the eagle. The eagle is able to rise like the lotus flower, rise above the mud and above all of the bullshit and the drama that exists in our life. And the eagle flies so high that no other creature can really touch it or affect it. The eagle is more so the predator. It's not preyed upon. And it's, it's just doing its thing, and it's flying high above everything. So that is the cycle. And then there's the phoenix, who transforms, and the phoenix rises above the ashes and transmutes and alchemizes the pain into something so powerful. And that is that energy of, you can say, Ketu and Pluto. Like, the eagle becomes more like Ketu, becoming more spiritually liberated and free as it flies. It, like, with its wings, it's free to fly and nothing can hurt it, nothing can touch it. The phoenix is kind of like Pluto. It's like transforming, it's destroying and alchemizing. So yeah, these are sorts of themes to think about with this new moon. I also just want to give a quick thank you to my beautiful friend and one of my biggest spiritual guides, Peter, for telling me about that cycle of the Scorpion, which I'm now telling you all because I feel like you all need to hear that. For anyone who doesn't know about that, it's very profound, especially if you have Scorpio in your chart like myself. It really helps you to understand yourself, and also all of us right now are having to experience this energy in our life because there is so much happening in the sign of Scorpio, and we all have Scorpio somewhere in our birth chart. So yeah, so with that cycle, moving from the beetle to the Scorpion to the eagle and then to the phoenix is so much easier said than done, especially in this sign of Scorpio, where we have to experience the most extreme, chaotic, sort of turbulent emotions and experiences. Scorpio is to do with the themes of death and rebirth and trauma and chaos, and really creating emotional strength and resilience within ourselves. And some of the common themes, the common emotional themes that occur in this sign of Scorpio that Scorpios have to deal with internally and externally around them is things to do with the dynamic of power and control and possessiveness, obsessiveness, jealousy, envy, trust issues is a big one, betrayal is a big one. These are not easy emotions to deal with. So yeah, these are some really intense emotions that we have to deal with, and with this sign of Anuradha, it's to do with our friendships and our partnerships and our connections in our life. And this is where these things tend to come up the most, especially with the ones that we are the closest to, is when it comes up the most. And with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio is very secretive, and it is all about the occult, the unseen, the hidden sort of psychological things in life. So what has been hidden from us, secrets, can now be revealed to us to do with all of this stuff. And it's not to take a victim role and be like, oh, like, you know, the whole world is against us and no one has the same heart that we do. It's not taking a victim role, it's to see our life with objectivity and with truth, because it is not being objective to see the world through rose-colored glasses and to think that everybody has the same heart that you do. That's actually naivety. And Neptune will be going direct, stationing to go direct after Mars stations to go retrograde on the 6th of December, not far away from this new moon, which means like Neptune is going direct is really taking off the rose-colored glasses that we've had to our life and being able to see more objectively and to really be able to discern and trust our intuition, because Neptune is so psychic. Neptune is this unconditional, otherworldly love that comes from a very aligned, authentic place. Not from a place, not loving from a place of naivety and thinking that everyone has the same heart that you do. With Mars going retrograde, we need to reflect on where we haven't asserted ourselves and we haven't stood up for ourselves, where maybe we've been taken advantage of and we didn't even realize. Now we'll be able to see those hidden truths where maybe we have been betrayed, maybe there have been trust issues or jealousy or envy or power struggles or control issues in our life, all of this scorpionic energy and these intense things that are not healthy at all. But it's now time for us to reflect on that and not to be a victim to it, but to actually allow ourselves to feel everything that comes up, because that is how we heal. Scorpio is a water sign. It is very deeply emotional and in touch with the emotions. Mars going retrograde is also retrograding in one of the most emotional signs, Cancer, super sensitive. We are being asked to really feel into these heavy emotions so that we can accept them. And we need to come, acceptance is a big one, to come to a place of acceptance and forgiveness. And the way that we really forgive these situations is, firstly, we need to forgive ourselves and take responsibility for anything that has happened to us. And it's not saying that we take away the blame if someone has really badly hurt you. It's not saying that you are at fault if someone has abused you or done something really hurtful towards you. It's not taking that blame. It's taking responsibility for your life, which is so empowering to do that, to know that through taking responsibility that you are then able to now change the patterns by doing that deep shadow work in the psyche of seeing why you attract these certain situations into your life. Because you're either a victim or a perpetrator of the things that you experience, unless you really heal them and you accept them and you forgive and you let them go. Otherwise, these traumas and wounds that we carry, they become a part of us and we become them, either the victim or the perpetrator. So do you want to continue this cycle, or do you want to take responsibility and say, no, actually, whatever happens to me is my perception, my truth, and I choose to live a life that is fully aligned, fully authentic to my truth, my highest truth of love. And it's so much easier said than done. And I'm not preaching this in a way to be like, oh yeah, like you need to stop being a victim or a perpetrator, because I'm saying this from a place of understanding. I have my moon in Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio, and Rahu together in Scorpio, and I really do understand and like have experienced that cycle of being a victim and of being a perpetrator in my life, and I can see how much damage it causes and how empowering it is to cut that story and take ownership of your life. And I can really see that that is what the planets are asking us to do in this time, and this new moon marks a special time for us to set the intentions to do that. And it may seem really daunting and scary to do the shadow work, to actually revisit these things, but I do think for those of you who are sensitive, you're probably already experiencing this. Memories are going to start coming up. You may run into someone, or you may have to, re-encounter and re-experience something that has happened to you in the past in order to reintegrate it in a more aligned way. So how are you going to do that this time? How are you going to change and rewrite your story for the better? Because this is our opportunity now with this new moon. This is all basically what I wanted to share with you all for this new moon. I hope that you can take some time out on the day to have a little sacred ritual for yourself, to say some prayers and connect with your higher self, to meditate, to journal, really try and do some shadow work, or at least set the intention to do some shadow work when you're ready, and really connect with yourself on this day. Cleanse, declutter, fast if you feel called to. These are some really great things to do at the time of the new moon. But other than that, I hope you all have such a beautiful month. This new moon is the time to set your intentions, to really set yourself up for this month of December. I wish you all so many blessings, and please let me know your stories and how you're going this month. I love to hear from you all, and I'm really grateful as well for all of my regular subscribers, and just, all of the messages and stories that you share. I love to hear them all, so please let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you all in my next video very soon.